Okay. Welcome to the standing delegate call. Today we have a couple different items on the agenda. We're going to go through a couple of on-chain proposals. Voting should be active today. We're going to talk a little bit about a proposal submission pause as a result of an upcoming protocol upgrade. We'll talk about TPP Builders and discuss how we could potentially do a demo of different TPP Builders, and then a quick update on the ML and Foundation participation in Catalyst. If there's any other business to add, we can also add it. I think we can also talk about the topics for the ETHDenver Meetup of delegates next week on February 27th. Before I start, any questions, feel free to raise your hand or simply add to the chat. Okay, so a quick update on the on-chain voting. We have two active protocol proposals where voting starts in around 2 hours. We'll send out an announcement for this. Just a reminder to please go ahead and vote in the next couple days, especially before ETHDenver starts. With regards to the proposal submission pause, I want to just give a quick note that the governance contracts are getting upgraded. So as part of this proposal, there's a new upgradable version of protocol upgrade handler. As a result of this, the protocol governor, GovOps, and token governors are going to be redeployed. If you go to the forum, there is a link here that I'll share in the chat in a second, where we need to pause. We would strongly recommend that token and gap proposals are paused until the ZIP5 is executed on L1, which is expected in around mid-March, first or second week in March. The reason for this is when the new protocols get swapped out, if you had an in-flight proposal, for example, a token proposal, then you might not actually be able to execute it on chain because the governors will be adjusted. I'll go ahead and add this link to the Zoom call. Okay. Any questions with regards to this? There was a question previously that I received over Telegram. They had read this proposal and were asking, is this like a one-time thing or will this happen often? This delay, this pause and delay will happen only when we have protocol upgrades which impact the governors. The way that we've designed the system will require at times that the governors are changed. We'll do our best to maintain maintain all the documentation up to date and communicate with you guys with regards to this. But whenever a protocol upgrade is changed, or let's say other parts of the immutable contract definition are adjusted, not just a parameter change, but one of the immutable parts of the contract, then we will need to change the governors. So unfortunately, we do expect this to happen potentially once or twice a year as we have protocol upgrades which impact the governance process. Okay. TPP Builders demo schedule. I'm not sure if you guys been able to view the TPP Builder section, but I'd encourage all the delegates to take a look at the link here. This has been a list of different builders that are working on token mechanics and on-chain contracts, as well as other services related to token programs. This is the beginning of a technical community, a beginning of an operational community. If you are a potential service provider that could provide different types of technical services, like, it could be interface, it could be design, it could be operations and project management, we'd encourage you to post an introductory profile here. I'd like to highlight specifically here one of the first ones, so Drips, where they took a look at the token mechanics and provided some of the example case studies of how TPPs could be built with them. Similarly, other TPP builders, we have here Metalex provided an overview with different products that can be used. And then we have other folks like Factory Labs, as well as HATS, Hedgie, Open Source Observer Analytics, and Superfluid Token Mechanics. So just keep it in mind that if you are building a token program and need a review of different service providers that you could collaborate with, then this is a great initial repository. If any folks from ZKsync, it could be Matter Labs or the foundation, ask the governance team about, hey, do you know someone who is building specific token mechanics? We usually send them a link to this profile. So in any case, just a reminder here to take a look. If you are one of the TPP builders and you want to do, for example, a demo for the delegate community, please feel free to send me a note. I would like to actually begin documenting some of the different token mechanics over the next couple of weeks. So I think with that being said, just let me know. Any questions with regards to TPP builders? Yeah, Tucker. Yes, they can also be individuals, like add a profile there about the capabilities, skills, and especially case studies of anything that may be relevant. Great. Okay, on to before we. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, Rafa. I wanted to quickly ask a question about the proposal for the governor upgrades, and for the ZK gateway proposal as well. Okay. For the governor upgrades, like
I think you went on mute.
Yes, sorry about that. My cat stepped on my keyboard. So I asked my research team to look into the proposals just so we know what we're voting for. And on the one, like the governor upgrades are very straightforward, but for the ZK gateway, it's like an extensive proposal from a technical perspective. And I was wondering whether there's going to be any audits of that proposal, of the upgrade shared in the forums, or if the Security Council. I assume they're going to provide a review, but I was wondering what the timeline for that is.
Great. I'll ask Alicia and get back to you. I don't think she's on the call right now, but I'll get back. I'll post it on a reply of this call, and I'll tag you on it.
Okay, perfect. Appreciate it.
Great. I'm just writing a note here. Give me 1 second. Okay. Any other questions?
Not from my end.
Okay, excellent. So one additional note, I've confirmed for the ETHDenver delegate meetup next week, we will be having Matter Labs and the foundation team joining us for the working session. So if you're attending in person next week, we will have folks from Matter Labs. I believe, hopefully we'll have AG. We'll have the executive director of the ZKsync Foundation, Marco. We'll have hopefully Omar, head of strategic partnerships, and Megan, chief marketing officer, to come join us and talk about their views on what they've seen over the last 6 months in terms of governance, what their recommendations are, concerns, feedback, and a bunch of other items. I'm working with them to create a bit of a panel discussion, and we'll update the agenda with regards to that. If you have questions for the foundation or for Matter Labs, please feel free to send me a note. You can do that via direct message, or you can simply reply to the standing delegate call link from today and say, hey, I'm curious about these things. That way we can, I can help facilitate the conversation next week and also let them know what types of questions you might have for them. Okay, Alex, I'll get to your question in a second. Any questions with regards to ETHDenver? Okay. So the last topic is, I'll go back here. The last topic is an update on MLN Foundation participation in Catalyst. Omar wasn't able to join the discussion today. We had, I helped facilitate a series of discussions last week with regards to Matter Labs and Foundation participation in the SteerCo and in Catalyst execution. I met with Areta and Dr. Nick from Factory Labs last week. And there will be a post on the forum with regards to this. The short overview is that Matter Labs and the foundation both independently reviewed the proposal and decided that they won't be participating in Catalyst, allocating resources to the current design. So there'll be a broader post in terms of like feedback and comments. I think that the summary of it was that when Catalyst was looked at in the context of other of all the other programs which are being discussed internally, externally, it just didn't make it didn't make the priority list in terms of allocating the necessary resources to make the program a success. So there'll be a post on the forum with regards to this, and there'll also be plenty of time next week at ETHDenver to also ask for additional context in person. Bernard?
Yeah, and maybe I can also shine some light on it in terms of where we took the conversation with Meta Labs and the foundation. We've obviously basically developed the proposal to large part together with them over the last month or so. We also published an update on the forum right now. So for us, it's still like an open topic on seeing, kind of not considering their focus and how to work together with TPPs. Seems like there is a bit of change right now in terms of direction. And yeah, I think for us, it's right now a situation where we are basically waiting for that direction to form over the coming weeks. On the Catalyst side, we probably will streamline the proposal to a large extent. It relied a lot now on the guidance over the last month on Meta Labs and the foundation really baking in what they see valuable. Now, obviously, with those changed, we'll likely streamline the proposal to a large extent and reduce the size. So yeah, I think we'll follow up with an update and kind of all doesn't rely so much on those two stakeholders. Will likely be a bit smaller, a bit more risk vetted, and have a more outsourced kind of committee to steer it. And yeah, I think that's the update on our end on where to take this forward and what happens with it now that kind of Meta Labs and Foundation change the direction.
I think in general too, you know, like personally, like I think there's a broad-based acknowledgement of need for how the token assembly can invest in ecosystem growth. I don't think that's up for debate. I think the core question is really about, you know, Matter Labs Foundation investment and what type of token program structure really like will have the highest leverage and impact over like 2025. I think that I think this is an open question. You know, this DAO, quote unquote, you know, the token assembly as an on-chain organization has only been alive for the last 5 months, and I think we're still trying to find our footing in terms of what the best collaboration and coordination methods are. I know, you know, I've had, I don't know how many hours of discussions with the Areta and the Factory Labs team. And, you know, when we started this process discussion, not just with Areta and Factory Labs, but with a lot of other delegates who are discussing proposals, you know, there is a high level of uncertainty specifically in this first year, because we're still trying to figure out what the best way to kind of like, you know, operate these programs at scale and what that will look like. I think if I think about a key objective for next week, especially during the ETHDenver meetup, is to try and understand better, like, you know, what are the first proposals that we want to execute on, and how do we basically get better at a coordination in, you know, in all these like decentralized processes. So anyways, stay tuned. This will be a big topic of discussion next week. And I'm really personally excited that Matter Labs and the Foundation will be present during those discussions with us. And yeah, taking an active role in helping steer like what 2025 will look like. Bernard?
And that's also from us. I mean, we're now also in the process of kind of supporting you guys in like finding a direction, and it's not easy, right? Nascent ecosystem, and what is the right level of involvement, how to work together with the DAO. So yeah, very curious to see what comes out of on the ground next week, and everybody who's there also feel free or stop by and like support that process of finding a direction. Yeah.
Definitely think stay tuned. I think next week it's gonna be there's gonna be a lot of information. And yeah, Tecker, we'll have a recap post in Denver. And just in general, so you guys know, from a governance team perspective, one of the things that we really, you know, set out to avoid is basically what a lot of challenges in other ecosystems look like, where, you know, there's a lot of work done on a proposal, and then it's, you know, we don't have the right strategic alignment, or we don't have the resourcing necessary that the proposal is dependent on. as a community. So I think that I think part of that, I can tell you from my side, that's something that I'm personally working on and something that we need to figure out. So in any case, that's a bit of a summary in terms of where we are, where we've ended up with Catalyst. Any additional questions that you guys have, just let me know. Also look forward to some communications from the Matter Labs team in terms of Catalyst, and also feel free to respond there and say, hey, I'm curious about this. What do you think about that? And so we can continue to foster kind of like a public discussion about this, which is a big goal on my side, but sometimes a little bit easier to say and a lot quite harder to maintain on a hour by hour and day-to-day basis. Okay, if there's not any other business, just want to thank everyone. For those who weren't here last week, the Ignite team did a monthly recap report that was quite detailed and talked about both where we are 1 month in, where they're going for season 1, and what may come next. If you haven't seen it, highly recommended. The Ignite team will also be posting a monthly recap next month with the outcomes of of February. So stay tuned, and we'll continue to do it step by step. Thank you again, everyone.